Oh, hello. How are you? So glad you're here. It's a holiday Monday, and you might be having a Thanksgiving gathering today, and you might be having a little bit of wine. What about tasting and identifying flavors in wine? Well, that's something author and wine critic Natalie MacLean knows all too well. Good morning, Natalie.
What a coincidence, Tim.
Total coincidence. This is so weird. We didn't organize this at all. Oh my goodness. What is the wine, Natalie, that we do have?
Sure, it's the Velvet Devil from Washington State. It's got a seasonal vibe, of course.
Yeah.
But it's smooth, it's juicy, it's got these ripe, fleshy, ripe, dark berries. I just love it for this time of the year.
So you say all that because do you consider yourself a super taster?
I am one.
Okay.
And I got tested and, but I'll backtrack in terms of what the heck is a super taster, right, Tim? Dr. Linda Bartoshuk at Yale University School of Medicine discovered the supertaster phenomenon back in 1999. And women are twice as likely as men to be supertasters because apparently we have more fungiform papillae. Those are the tiny structures that hold the taste buds on the tongue. So we have more taste buds.
Does this change who you recommend wine to if you're talking to a man or talking to a woman?
Well, first of all, I have to keep in mind my own sort of preferences. I recommend many wines that I love and wines that I don't love or, that I wouldn't drink personally. This Velvet Devil Merlot, I chose it deliberately because it is smooth, whereas supertasters tend to not like tastes that are bitter. Dr. Bartoshuk says we live in a neon world of taste, like having 500 fingers. So just everything is more super sensitive. But in terms of what I recommend, I try to recommend a wide variety of wines, and they don't differ for men and women. It's more, if you like a smooth, full-bodied red like the Velvet Devil, this is your wine. If you like something with maybe a pleasantly bitter finish like an Amarone from Italy, here's one I recommend, even though I might not drink it personally, because, both men and women can be supertasters, just as we can fall into the other categories of non-taster, so very tolerant of all tastes, or just the sort of that middle ground, which is 50% of the population, average tasters.
Because do you have to get tested to know if you're a super taster? Like Annette thinks that she's a super taster. I know that I'm not, because we do drink a lot of wine because my wife is a sommelier, right? But
yes.
she can smell things that I can never smell, and I get intimidated a little bit. Now maybe not as much anymore about what I can smell and what I taste.
Absolutely. So I did get tested because I was writing about the phenomenon, and so I was curious, and so I went down to California and I went to a lab with Tim Hanai, who is a master of wine and has this very strange equipment, puts your head in a sort of a vise. And like Dr. Bartoshuk, he will test you on your tongue. What he did is sort of dip your tongue in a thyroid medication because it turns your tongue blue. So it tests your sensitivity to bitterness, but it also, he can see the number of taste buds per square inch. So that's how, he was able to determine which of the three categories that I fell into, and happened to be super taster.
It's kind of nice, even we got to get going, but even Thanksgiving dinner, maybe if you're having it today, pour a glass and even go around the table and everybody might smell something different, and that's okay too, right?
Absolutely. My number one rule of pairing is pair the wine to the diner, not the dinner.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to Thanksgiving, especially with so many flavors on the table, everybody's palate is so different. It is subjective experience tasting wine. So really drink the wines you like and have confidence that, if you like them, then they're good for you.
You can follow what Natalie recommends, nataliemaclean.com, or her new book, too, Wine Witch on Fire, Rising from the Ashes of Divorce, Defamation, and Drinking Too Much. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Natalie.
Happy Thanksgiving, Tim.
And to everybody at home. Cheers.